Hi guys! Welcome to a new episode of Cooking in Times of Corona. So I'm feeling a little homesick today. Actually, not a little. I'm feeling pretty homesick and I'm especially missing my family and my grandmother. This is a dish that she makes almost every day for lunch. It's called Serenata de Bacalao. I know, tongue twister. It means serenade of codfish, and we use salt cod. It's kind of like a salt cod salad. It requires prepping ahead, so you have to soak the cod the night before, which I did, and I'll show you. And you can make a big batch and just have it for a few days for lunch if you want. So this is what it looks like. This recipe is actually really easy to prepare, but you do need to get the cod soaking one day before to get rid of most of the salt. So these are pollock fillets and the spines have already been removed, which is going to make it really easy when it's time to break it down. You can see they're literally covered in salt. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run them under cold water and rinse most of the salt off. And then I'm just going to put them in a bowl with water and let them sit in there for an entire night. Just going to have to cut this guy actually. This is a dish that's widely known through Puerto Rico, and the reason why it's so readily available is because of its price, and it actually tastes really good. This is one of the dishes that I always ask my grandma to make me when I go home. And I don't know, I've been feeling kind of homesick lately. I really want to be with my family. So I decided I'm gonna make this and maybe give them a call around lunchtime and have a virtual lunch with them. So yeah, 2 fillets should be enough for me. And so you can see most of the salt is already off. And I'm just gonna soak these in water now. You want there to be a good amount of water, like a couple inches above it. So I'm just gonna cover this up with some plastic wrap, but if you wanna put it in a Tupperware container, that works too. And it's going in the fridge for tonight, and then tomorrow we'll keep talking about it. I have my cod right here that I've been soaking since last night. And what I'm gonna do is just drain it. I'm gonna rinse it with some cold water. Drain it again. And I have some boiling water right here. And I'm just gonna drop it right into the boiling water. So here the fish is gonna release a lot more of that salt. So the temperature of the water just dropped because the fish was cold. I'm just gonna bring it back up to a simmer and start tasting it every 10 to 15 minutes to check the level of saltiness of the fish. As soon as the fish is ready, I'll prepare the salad, which is the easiest part. Hi guys. All right, so my codfish was simmering for about 15 minutes. I checked it and the salt levels were good. I do eat a little bit on the higher end with the salt. So if you guys don't like it so salty, just cook it for a little longer or just rinse it off and simmer it again with fresh water. That'll remove a lot of that excess salt. What I'm gonna do right now is just drain it. This is literally the easiest part of this recipe, is just putting all the ingredients together. I think the easiest way to break it down is with your hands. So just take the fish and you'll see it'll just break down with your hands easily. And just break it apart. I don't like to break it up too much. I like little pieces of like salty fish throughout. And I love this recipe because you can just make a really big batch and have it for a few days. And it gets better as it sits because all those flavors kind of meld together. I think you can find it at a regular grocery store. If not, they definitely have it in Latin food stores. This is about 2 large fillets. That should be enough for a couple of days for me. So over here I have some sliced red onion. I had some left over from when I made my smoked salmon avocado toast. Just pat it dry. And the reason why I had it in water is to remove some of the bitterness from the onion. But you don't have to do that. It just makes the flavor a little more subtle and not so pungent. And then I have red pepper over here. Slice it up as well, nice and thin. This recipe is super healthy and flavorful. And it's a great way to get raw veggies in the diet. I used to love this dish when I was a kid. My grandma would make it for me. And I was actually on the phone with her earlier. She was telling me she's actually making it today, which is no surprise because she practically makes it every single day. I have some hard-boiled eggs here that I also did yesterday. And I just want to show you how pretty and yellow they're on the inside. These were cooked for 11 minutes. If you want to see good tips to make these, just watch my smoked salmon avocado toast video on my IGTV. But if you've ever seen a hard-boiled egg that has a greenish yolk or that has a greenish ring around the yolk, it probably means it was overcooked. And the way to avoid that is to time it. It's as easy as that. That way you get really pretty yellow hard-boiled eggs and you make a really beautiful, colorful salad. I'm gonna slice up some garlic. Just 1 clove of garlic, I think should be enough. If you have a microplane or grater, that works too, so that you don't get big chunks of raw garlic in there. Just gonna mince it up. We have an avocado half, so I'm just gonna take the pit off. Little trick, set it down. Slice the part that's exposed. And there you go, fresh avocado. Dice it up as well. Like nice little pieces. They look really petite in there. Lastly, some cilantro. I'm gonna roll it up, chop it up. This salad is usually served with viandas on the side. Viandas are boiled root veggies or starchy veggies, and it's usually a combination. My grandma likes to do yuca root, sweet potato, plantains, and it's great with those because they kind of soak up all the flavors that the salad gives out. So it's a really good balance of like sweet and salty, starchy, fresh. So just a little bit of olive oil. And I'm not gonna do salt this time because the cod is already so salty. But I'm just gonna toss it with my hand and taste it and check. One of the best parts of this salad is that it has so much olive oil. I love the flavor, and I always did as a kid too. Give it a taste. A little bit of cod, a little bit of avocado, a little bit of egg. I definitely need some salt. And the salt is discretionary. Just taste it. If you think it needs it, just add a little bit. I'm gonna do a little bit of pepper. Love some fresh pepper. It's really good for you too. A little bit of salt. And a lot of olive oil. I love olive oil. And just toss it around. Taste it. So, here we go. So, I do think it still needs a little bit of salt, but I'm gonna let it sit and mellow out a little bit and let those flavors kind of blend together. I'm gonna taste it again later when I'm gonna have it, and I'll adjust the seasoning at that point. These are Japanese yams, and I love these because they're a little bit sweet, but they're also so creamy and the texture is amazing. But you can literally do any root vegetable you have. There's literally a huge variety. Just look it up online, viandas. I'm spelling it out right here, and you can literally just boil anything and put this over any root or starchy veggie that you have. Just taking a couple of wedges that I simmered for like 20 minutes until they were soft on the inside. I have my Serenata right here. Just gonna stir it up. Just taste it real quick and see. Perfect. Just make sure you taste the seasoning. If you think it needs a little bit more salt, just go for it. And just gonna put it right over my root veggies. And it's literally as simple as that. If you have some fresh chopped cilantro, you can put some more over that if you want. So just because I didn't do enough olive oil before, I'm just gonna do a little bit more now. And this is seriously my grandmother and my heritage on a plate, and I hope you try it at home and enjoy it. Serenata de bacalao con viandas.